And that's enough before Keith Sweat decides he wants to sue us. Big up to Keith Sweat. Big up to everybody out there in the listening radius and range. Happy Saturday night. It's the Bakers again coming to you live.
Happy
Saturday. On Facebook. Happy Saturday. Happy weekend. We having a pretty good evening here. There's like a teenage sleepover going on.
Yes.
In our
part of our
house.
Party.
Birthday slumber party. 13 years old. Happy birthday, Bree.
Happy birthday, baby girl.
We got the festive lights changing in the background. Family growing and progressing and growing up too fast.
Yes.
And this is a good segue to our topic. We're going to talk about making it last, as the good Reverend Dr. Sweat alluded to in our opening.
Dr. Sweat.
Making it last. So we're a married couple. We're going to celebrate an anniversary in a couple of weeks.
Oh,
yeah. It's like number 8, but we've known each other like 22. So somehow
22 years.
This connection has found a way to make it last. And we want to talk to other people who have long-term commitments, relationships, and secrets to divulge about how to make that thing stick, how to keep it solid as a rock, as Reverend Dr. Ashford and Simpson.
Yes.
Let's put it, everybody's a Reverend Doctor tonight. I'm in an educated mood. So, but do you have any thoughts to kick us off into our topic? We're gonna have some guests coming on. What's it? What is?
I'm excited about this.
Should we get right into our secrets or
into our secrets?
So how do we make it? How do we make it happen?
How do we make it?
How do we make it work? Kids have a lot of them. They will love.
They're the glue.
They will complicate your life to the point where you cannot function without the other, and then
I don't think that's the case at all. I feel like we
throwing a bunch of kids into a relationship is not the way to make that relationship last.
We learn to compromise. We communicate.
Loudly sometimes.
Oh yes.
Softly other times.
And definitely have lots of compassion for one another and empathy for each other. And understand that each other is still growing, and we're still learning from each other every day. Absolutely.
That we are.
Because we are definitely not the same 20-something, 30-somethings when we met each other.
I was like 20-something.
You were 20. You were 20.
I'm saying, who is 20-something?
No, we were long ago, and
far too long ago.
But we definitely we are enjoying the journey.
We are.
Because it is definitely a journey that we're on together, for sure, without a doubt.
I mentioned that we're celebrating an anniversary soon. Shout out to my brother and his wife Destiny, who just celebrated their anniversary. Shout out to my man Adon Davis and Miriam, who recently celebrated their anniversary on my birthday, and I was in their wedding on my birthday. You're welcome. But congratulations to you guys and your lovely son. Congratulations to everyone who's managed to make it another year with that special someone.
Definitely congratulations.
Should I ask you more questions, or should we bring Reverend Dr. Herb on?
Yeah.
Is it time to bring the guests on?
Sure, you can if that's what
So we're gonna. Good evening and welcome to the virtual couch. Is that the good Reverend Dr. Herb?
Hey. Y'all hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah. Are you
rolling?
All
right, cool. What's going on?
Rolling.
Yeah, I'm actually I'm on my way back home from New York.
Oh, home sweet home.
Yeah, I'm on my way back home now.
For me, or home sweet. Where you coming from is home sweet home for me. How's it looking out there?
Yeah. What's that?
How's it looking in the city?
It's cool. It was nice, man. I was, a little paranoid and shit at the park with a whole bunch of people, man, and just, I don't know. I just was envisioning COVID all in the air. So.
And there probably was some COVID all in the air.
Yeah. Paranoid.
But,
I'm back in the car, but still a little shook up. But I'm all right.
Full effect. Well,
Yeah, I'm gonna go check my temperature when I get home and shit.
Oh, for sure. Don't you love those little temperature checks where you put the face in? You go in certain places and they put the thing in your face and it's like, boop,
Yeah,
temperature
yeah, and,
normal.
and and right before y'all put me on, y'all was talking about having y'all got a teenage slumber party. Was y'all checking temperatures?
Yes, yes,
All right,
absolutely.
okay, all right.
Oh, you check, you
Just
trying to
just
catch
Well,
check.
us,
you know what?
catch
We
us sleeping on our
quarantine with
quarantine
other
ticket.
Man, you
families.
know I am. You know I am.
We
I always got some
we
shit with me.
you should quarantine with other families. We quarantine with other families that our kids get along with, so that way
Okay,
we keep
what you
our
say?
circle. I said you can quarantine with other families to keep your circle a little expanded, but still closed at the
So,
same time.
so, so, Herb, we're about to bring we're about to bring a couple on. We're talking about marriage and making it last this evening. I know you in the car. We'll look to you for some
Okay.
wisdoms if you got them. Um, but
And
if there's any trouble hearing or
Look
anything,
look
you
to
can
me for some
tune us
wisdom.
back in another time.
mm-hmm.
You are a married man, yeah?
All right. Of course. 18
All right.
years.
Then you got some wisdom to drop.
All right, we're
But
gonna add somebody else in
let's
right now.
add someone else to the virtual couch. We got Nikia and Mel rejoining the couch.
Hello,
Nikki and
hello,
Melvin.
hello.
Hey,
Hey, happy Saturday. How are you
yes,
two?
happy Saturday. How's everybody doing?
We're good.
Doing
How
all
are
right. Doing
you?
all right. It's good to
Everybody,
see you
well, I
guys.
know I'm good. I think I am. I gotta check my temperature when I get home.
He is shook right now.
Uh-oh.
Oh man, we're talking about relationships, not just any relationships, those that are built to last. We're talking about long term.
Right.
Nikki and Melvin, how long you guys known each other?
Uh, God. I met him.
That
That's
long.
the funny thing. I met him like 2 weeks before I turned 21. So about
That's
20 years.
20
Yeah.
that sounds
something
like
years.
us.
Been married.
21
Yeah, we've
years.
been married
Yes.
though about 11.
Okay.
10
God
years
bless you.
strong.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Okay.
Congrats,
We've been
congrats.
Hey, can I ask you a
Thanks.
question? Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a
Go
question?
ahead.
All right, all right. You know it for 20 years. When is the first time you went to the bathroom with him in the house?
um,
That's
Probably
a
about a month
You're
in.
talking like
Now see that
Probably
it
what?
got quiet.
I was doing
It
it.
got quiet.
you talking like the parents in Boomerang, bang
Yeah.
bang bang. You got to coordinate. You getting all up in their
Yeah,
business,
yeah.
Reverend.
What
You
was it?
getting all up in their business, Reverend Doctor.
What was it?
I'll add a different spin on it. When did you guys realize? When did you realize he was the one? I met my missus. She was celebrating her 21st as well, where we met. So
Um,
good time to meet a person. So how long did it take before it was like, yeah, this could be him.
it was difficult because I was going through so much, but it was two incidents. My mom was sick and he was helping her. And then when I was actually pushing him away because I was becoming homeless. And so when he stuck by me, I was just like, I gotta stop pushing him away. That so it was like two instances when I was just like, yeah, he's the one I've been looking for. I need to stop acting like a fool.
Mm,
Right.
mm.
Well, Melvin, when did you know that she was the one? Because it's different times for different
I think it
people.
was the first time I approached her and got her number. That's what I knew. She
I
was standing at
know.
the phone at
Ah.
the phone booth. Well, there was phone booths in this outfit, and I was like, damn, who the hell is that? And my sister, my sister was like, oh, you little bitch ass, you ain't gonna go get a number. So, so my sister, I was like, "No, what you talking about? I'll go get her number. Oh, you ain't gonna do shit." We was on our lunch break. She was talking shit to me, so I went and got her number. And after that, I was just waiting for her to call me.
That's a
Nice.
great story.
Nice.
Big up sis for
Big up.
helping
Seriously.
facilitate that and make that happen.
Herb, how did you know the missus
And
was
all
the
I
one?
was some biker shorts. That's all I had on, some
Nah, you
biker
had some
shorts.
kind of extravagant outfit on
No,
that
it was
day.
biker shorts.
That'll do
She
it.
had her hair done.
Biker
She
shorts
had some extravagant
on.
outfit on.
Ivy,
Summertime.
She on
I had Cleopatra braids on, biker shorts, and you can see my tummy. And I just got my belly button pierced. That's all I had on. with some lip gloss, and my
Look,
eyes.
whatever it was,
The
he
forehead.
remembered it. He remembered it. That's what I'm talking about.
Whatever it was,
It worked. It was like, bag him, take him home. How about you, Herb? When did you realize the missus was the one?
Um, well, I mean, after extensive conversation, after a long, like, I don't know, after you get to a point where you used to somebody so much where you spend a couple of moments without them, and it's like you thinking about it,
Mm, mm.
and
Right.
you longing for that conversation again, and when they don't pick up the phone, you feeling some type of way. It I, she might have been the only one that yeah,
That inspired
that
those
I can
feelings.
remember, yeah, that those particular feelings anyway. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
you
Mm-hmm.
don't pick up the phone, you feeling
Right.
some type of way. It's like, yo, all right, I'm about to. She don't pick up
Right.
this next time. I'm gonna go ahead and put my boots on and get up out of this house and go looking
It's
for
like
her.
a P.
Type of
Diddy
stuff.
song.
I
What's that
know that
song P.
feeling.
Diddy had that
Yeah.
one
I
time?
heard that. I heard that.
I'm gonna say I knew it was like date 3. So me and this lady 3 times, and then she had to start meeting family members, and it probably was a little too soon for her to be meeting family members. There was there's still things that needed to be clarified between us. We met like I said, she was celebrating her 21st birthday, so she was in a club clubbing, and so we met under assumed name. We met under assumed, you go to the club and you have your identity when you're there to keep everybody kind of at arm's length. So I met her representative, or her cover story for
My,
who she was supposed to be.
my club persona for
And
the night. My alter ego. He met my alter ego. Okay,
the
y'all.
alter ego is allegedly older than me. Meanwhile, I'm 5 years older than her. And there's a whole bunch of other craziness. So it's like I introduced her to my sister and one of my best friends, like 3 days in. And they was like, they was a little skeptical. They was right, because the cover story was
They were like,
was total foolery, but underneath that was exactly who I thought was it. 22 years later, I was right. I told y'all she was the one. So I'm vindicated.
so I heard that. I think it took me a little longer to realize this guy was the one. I knew he had a little potential there, but I want to say by the end of it all, first round,
End of it all.
the end of the first round, I realized that yeah.
It was 1.5
Once
days.
once he was no longer in my everyday, then that's when I realized
Not
that I
when I
wanted.
put the move on you. Not the Mac Daddy vibes.
What?
I put the Mac Daddy vibes on you, bro.
The Mac that he did. I ain't gonna lie.
We were sipping cognac on
He
the
had me,
rotating restaurant.
he had me going.
Ah,
He
man.
had me going. He
I
really
went hard
did.
to impress you.
He really did.
So let me ask you: do you guys have any? And I'm thinking of one of your friends who has parents who've been married like forever,
Yes.
and that becomes like an aspirational thing when you have that to look at. Who were your couple role models? Who do you look at and say, you know what, I want to be in love like Big Mama and Big Papa in love? Or who was it? Who was it? It was Jay and Beyonce, or the Huxtables on TV. Who are your couple role models?
I mean, for me, I didn't have that. I never had that. I mean, when I was younger, it was my grandparents, but when I got older, I found out, the cover is not always what you see. And I was
Facts.
about 8, 10 years old when they got a divorce. So
Mm.
they were my forever couple because they lasted a long time. They lasted, um, I'm going to say my mother was like 32, 34, something like that when they divorced. So they were together a long time.
Mm.
But, when I found out everything, it was different. But yeah, they're the only couple I know that lasted as long as they did.
Nice.
Things were different back in the day. Not only did people
Yeah.
like hold on to each other, but they also would like keep a lot of stuff for each other, take a lot of stuff for each other that no one ever would know about. And then when you
Yeah.
find out the behind the scenes, what grandma put up with, and or even what
Yeah.
grandpa in some cases put up with, it's like, whoa, those people
Right.
were about their relationships. Herb, what are your thoughts on
Yeah.
relationship role models? Did you have any? Do we have good ones these days? Are
Relationship
we missing those?
now. Now, I mean, are we missing them?
Mm.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what to say about that. I really don't. I mean, because I look at relationships like I look at individuals. I mean, every relationship is different. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Every bond is different. Every agreement is different. You just, I don't know what to say to that. I don't know what to
Fair
say to
enough.
that
Fair
one.
enough. Well, I'm gonna bounce a little more off you then. One of the things that when we talk about like young kids, young black kids, whether they're talking about their professional aspirations, what they want to do with their life, how they want to live their life, who they want to be with, and how. A lot of that ends up being a function of what they see around them. So you
Right.
grew up in the neighborhood, and I've heard dudes tell the story all the time. Like I didn't see the lawyer, the doctor. I saw my man that was hustling up the street, or this dude that got out of where we was at from playing ball or whatever, and that people emulate what they see. They mirror back. Like these are my possibilities. These are my options because this is what I see from. It takes like a lot of vision to break through that and say, you know what? Even though I'm not seeing it, I'm gonna be something I can't even see. That's difficult, I
Right.
think, for kids. So in terms of seeing black family structures and seeing couples being together in long term, do you feel that that's missing from the pop culture right now? Because there's a lot of, Chris Brown stealing everybody's girl, everybody hopping around and having these like, disposable relationships, and that's what they put in the media, right? Meanwhile, there's people like us and like Nikki and Melvin that are like, we're more the norm, I think, honestly. But we got Jay Z and Beyonce finally, so we got some kind of representation
There's
of that.
not that you got no, you gotta leave Will and Jada and
Yeah,
there's so
Will and
many
Jada.
other
Some
artists
Yeah.
who are married.
off
I
topic.
I
Somebody
think
had it.
I
Somebody had a post real quick. Somebody had a post on their page today about which of these artists did you want to see grow old, and they had like Big Pun, Biggie, Tupac, and whatever, and they had them like aged faces, and people were saying Pac, and I'm like,
Right.
y'all keep saying Pac. You don't think Will and Jada got enough complications in their relationship? Like, you don't think the Smiths got on them without
yeah.
Tupac being around? For the entanglements to get deeper. But I'm sorry. Go ahead, Herb. I said.
Yeah, exactly. I
I
mean,
I think
I hate to
yeah.
say it. I felt like Jada and Will, they matched, they equaled each other, but I knew it was gonna be a problem because Will's laid back and Jada for Baltimore, that attitude, that structure right there. I knew it was gonna be some popping off, but later on, now you're seeing the popping off. Now you're seeing the problem, and now you can see how he's looking at her like, yo, I'm laid back.
Mm-hmm.
Now you putting my stuff out in the public. Like this is not what I want. You can see
Right.
now on his face that he's looking at her different. Like you just messed my whole world up.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I think
Honestly,
that
Reverend Doctor, yeah.
that is that's probably that's probably some of the most unhealthy shit ever to
yeah,
By itself.
have like to look up to a couple because hello, you there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. I mean, because we set relationship expectations before we set our own personal identity. So
Mm.
I think I think we I think we prematurely in our community we jump into relationships into committed relationships too early. We don't commit to the very relationship that is necessary to commit to, and that's ourselves. We don't even know who
right,
we are, but we jumping in a relationship.
right,
Mm.
So I think the ultimate relationship to jump in prior to all of the above is the one you got with yourself. And the relationship that you have with yourself, you have to know that it's never 100% established. You have to reintroduce yourself to yourself daily. And just as well, you have another obligation to reintroduce yourself to your significant other. So that's an activity within itself, man. I mean, until a person knows who they are and until a person understands they have an obligation to reevaluate themselves daily, then
Right.
you shouldn't even be looking for a mate. You shouldn't be looking for anybody outside of who you are. And I mean, who's to say, Will and Jada, that's the type of relationship for you? Who's to say, I don't know, the Cosby Show, or any?
Right.
I mean, who's to say any of these ideal relationships are the ideal relationship for you? Now, when you go ahead and set that as a standard, right? This is where things get screwed up because you're asking somebody else to play a role that you aren't capable of playing. So
Yeah.
Mm.
Right.
I
Right.
I just totally disagree with that. Looking up to another couple stuff. I mean, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I can get something from your relationship that I could probably adopt and implement in mine and put my little twist on it, or we put our little twist on it. But for the most part, man, my relationship is mine. Your relationship is yours. You know what I mean? And
Right.
and that's just where it's at. I
Yeah,
That's
I
that's
don't.
true,
but
but
That's
yeah,
just all I
I
got
can
to say
I
about
can
that.
rock with that, but to an extent though. So I was talking about Ivy's friend whose parents have been married forever. So just looking and saying, you know what, those two people have been together for ages on end. I want to be like that one day. I want to be with somebody for ages on end. Not I want to act like my dad. I want to act
right,
like my mom.
right.
But having that kind of partnership and having that's something I can look at and say, oh, that's cool. Same way you could look at somebody who has a
Right.
nice lawn or a nice car and be like, you know what, yeah, one day when I grow up, when you be in the corner as a kid playing, that's my car. Oh, that's my car. No, that's my car. I'll call it first. There's that aspirational thing, and I think that's always there with people.
I got what you said, but are you factoring in the car note though?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not,
Right.
because
That
you
that's
don't
what I'm trying
understand
to.
it. You
This
don't
is what I'm
It's
understand
a
trying to
it's
say.
a knee jerk from a kid kind of perspective. It's just
I
that's the
got
thing
you.
you
So
see
that
when you're at.
I think we function like children when we look up to other couples in that fashion because we're looking at we're looking at the outside.
Well,
We
we
ain't
weren't talking
looking
about
at what
kids.
goes on behind closed doors. We're not looking at the
we're
pain.
not
Mm-hmm.
looking
We're
at
not
that.
looking at
Well,
the fact that they might not even be happy, man.
absolutely.
It's not about
Right.
looking at if they're happy or not, but you got to remember a lot of children in our community don't even see committed relationships a lot of the time.
And I did say children.
And yes,
Right.
and the fact that what he was just trying to elaborate on what he was trying to say as a role model, if you've never seen a committed relationship, sometimes you might not even think marriage is something that is realistic even for you. So
Right. Because that
he,
was
I
me.
think, yeah, I think in his bringing up role models was just basically trying to say, did you have something to aspire to that was committed? Did you see a committed relationship growing up as a young person? Did you even think that was something that could be possible, or even thought of? Because a lot of times we don't always see that. I know my husband saw very few committed relationships, but he did have his mother and his father who were married. But other than that, very
I had uncles
few.
that were they was movers and shakers. They was
Mhm.
Rolling Stones. A big shout to my uncles. But they, they like
Well,
their women in plenitude.
Right. And Melvin,
yeah.
how about Melvin? You were going to say something?
I mean, I agree with everybody saying. I learned a long time ago the grass is never green on the other side of the fence. I mean, I grew up
Mm-hmm.
seeing. I didn't have any people to look up to growing up. I lived in a very drug gang violent area, and I'm happy to
All
be
right.
here, still smiling right now.
We happy
But
to
we
have you.
didn't have any figure or figurine people to look up to. Uh, I, I knew a couple, an old couple. They were together, and from the outside, it looked like they were the happiest couple, happily married for about 20, 30 years, going on 50 years. But he invited me to come over one day, and I found out they had skeletons in the closet. He had a bunch of
Always.
girlfriends. They
Oh.
arguing, throwing pots. But from the
Mm.
outside, they look like the Cosby Show. So you can never know, like you said, you can never know what's going on in somebody's household. All you seeing is the front that
Mm-hmm.
everybody puts up in the public. Like you could be walking, holding hands, walking down the street, the daisies coming out of the concrete. But when you get in that house, it's
Birds
you
singing.
motherfucker, this that.
Right, right.
You
Oh
don't
man.
know. You
Well,
only see the outside, and I like it's like, and also like Holmes was saying, you can only, like I said, I'm sorry, my kids are interrupting and messed up my whole train of thinking.
It's all right.
But
Right.
I
Take
agree
your
with
time.
you saying that about when no couple is perfect, and when you do get that special somebody, you don't know how that person may act when you get for them, or what they may contribute to the relationship
Mm.
as a whole.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
that's why
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna stop with that.
But the funny thing is, my daughter taught me something, and it's funny because she said to me, because her and my boy, they're young, and my daughter just turned 18. Her boyfriend is 20, about to turn 21 soon. But they've been together about 3 years, and they kept having anniversaries. I'm like, how's it your anniversary? She said, and it makes perfect sense for the young generation going into the future. They take their relationship day by day, and then on top of it, they actually basically reward each other by doing the anniversary, by celebrating the small accomplishments. Like, oh, we made it
Mm.
3 months. Oh, we made it 6 months. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
that's actually really good. And
It's
then
really
she
cute.
said, Mom, right. She said, Mom, even though I've seen your relationship, you guys go up and down or all the way around, y'all are a role model to me because even though you go through what you go through, Dad loves you to the moon and back, and you love him. And I looked at it like, wow, that she's telling me this, and I'm like, okay, I'm learning from you, but you're learning from me. And then on top of it, I'm looking at her like it's sad because these kids are, I hate to say, jumping through jumping, and they're like the longest relationship she ever seen was a year, and everybody keep giving her this problem like, "Oh, you still with him?" Like surprised, and I'm like, "Why are you surprised? If you taking it day by day or little by little, then your relationship will last. Instead
Right.
of just sitting there and doing a normal, just I'm just with them, we're having fun. Appreciate the little things you have, and it can come
Mm-hmm.
out to be you together for you."
I
Absolutely.
like that. Take it step by
So
step and day
I
by
learned that,
day.
and I was like, "Wow."
The little monthly
Yeah, I say
anniversaries.
honestly, in the black, especially,
Go ahead.
Good, Melvin.
Go ahead.
no, I would say honestly, in the black community, I don't think there is a lot of role models for especially younger people to look up to today. And since the Cosby Show, and that was years and years ago. But honestly, I don't say that there's a lot of role models. Not in this century right now.
Yeah,
What's
yeah,
going
yeah.
on?
There you sit, and here we sit. So we out there.
We are the role models, right?
Oh, we
We are
out
the
there.
role models.
We
Yeah,
don't get all the press. We don't get the press.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
functioning day to day couples. We're not interesting to look at, so they don't put us all over the media, right? It's those firecracker Kardashian
Yeah.
flashy
Oh yeah,
nonsense
yeah.
that get all the press, right?
All the drama.
So
yeah.
let's talk about drama for a minute. So the 20th century philosophers, New Edition, once said, sunny days, everybody loves them. Can you stay in the rain?
Right.
How do y'all stay in the rain when the times get rough and things ain't all sunny? What how do you work it through? Are you one of those couples that
I'm listening.
can't go to bed angry? Are we? Yeah, I hope you're listening. Cause we listening to your
Or
beats in the
yeah,
car.
we're listening to your tunes in the car there, Herb. But
We'll start with her.
start with Herb. Yeah.
What's a healthy way for a couple to deal with those drama points? What are some of the
How do you
ingredients to
deal with those drama points,
dealing
Herb?
with the not so sunny days?
Hey, you gotta give me a scenario.
An
Well,
argument,
an
an
argument.
argument, a
Are you?
disagreement. Uh,
Yes.
she's not happy with you for fill in the blank, and we
Mhm.
all got those blanks. So
We
when
are.
those arguments arise,
Well, I mean, it depends on if you're talking about something as small as leaving the toilet seat up, and
You said what degree of
or
argument?
cheating.
it's a good that's a
Yeah,
good
that's
point
what I'm saying. This
because
is
the
what degree? Like left a dish in the sink. I mean, what you talking about?
Depending on where you are in your relationship, any of those things could be a last straw. It could be something as light and as stupid as you left the toilet seat up, or something as deep as you got entanglements. So
Yeah.
whatever. I like to break things down, but no, when you have an argument with your wife, what do you guys have rules around? Okay, we're gonna go outside and not argue around the kids, or we're gonna take a minute to digest. We don't go to bed angry. I heard that one a lot. We don't buy into that.
We don't buy into
We
that.
go to bed angry sometimes.
Yeah.
Or we use other
Okay.
Or
methods.
we let out. We use
We let out.
outlets.
We use other that helps through those things.
Yeah.
So Nikki and Melvin, how do you guys deal with those times? Y'all seem real like you get along really
I
well,
mean-
but those moments when things get a little.
I mean, honestly, you gotta know at the end of the day, all you do is have each other to support each other, and I think that's why our strength goes up. But at the end of the day, it's just you and him. I mean, you can argue, but at the end of the day, you gotta have each other's back because that's what family is.
I like that. I like that a lot. I like that a
Absolutely.
lot. What? So okay, so we're not gonna talk about the how.
I like it too.
I'm glad you like it.
Yeah.
But we're gonna redirect
Well,
to you,
can
Reverend
you
Doctor.
give an example of your own thing, and then maybe they can follow.
What would
up.
qualify as a big argument, Herb? Big argument. Worth
Qualified as a big.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's
No,
good.
you
I don't
can't
know.
talk to
It-
married people about it. You got to give them scenarios, and then they can solve the problem. You can't just throw stuff at them, dear. We got to give them a scenario.
I can give
So
you a
let's-
scenario.
Yeah. So there we go. Let's do that. Let's give us a scenario here.
Wait a minute. Wait.
Yeah, give me a scenario.
So say you decided to stay out too late and not call home. She was calling.
Is that a phone ringing or
That is
something?
Yes,
somebody's
the
phone line.
sorry, it's mine.
I'm sorry.
Oh.
right.
So you decided to stay out late, and you
Well,
were expected home 4 hours ago. You went out with your friends, and before you know it, it's 1 o'clock in the morning, and you're just getting through the door. She was calling you, and
Or
your
the sun
phone
beat
done,
you home.
and the sun done beat you home. Oh my
Can't
God!
find it.
How
Where's it
do
at?
you deal with that?
How do you deal with it?
Yeah, what
deal
would
with it.
be
You deal with it head on.
head on?
I mean, you
meet it head on. Absolutely.
You deal with it head on,
Talk to us about
and you
it.
do not sugarcoat anything. You do not lie. You do not fudge the truth. You know, because some people don't think fudging the truth is lying. So I'm gonna say you do not lie, and you do not fudge the truth. You hit it head on. I mean, at the end of the day, man.
Or you get hit head on.
What's that?
If son beat me home, I'm
That's a whole nother story. That's another story, brother. I got to call the authorities.
Don't believe him.
I called the cops.
He's a comedian.
I called the cops.
You gotta call the cops.
But I mean, you hit that dead on, man. You talk about that, and that is something that probably would happen in my 20s, though. You know what I mean? So as time goes on, you know what the expectations are. You know what I mean? And you know what each other expects. You know what each other. You know, I know I can tell you what she gonna say. You know, before she said when I come home.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And vice versa. I mean, I know y'all understand that part.
I know.
But that's an early relationship. That's an early relationship issue, and that's something you're gonna have to get through. That's something you're gonna have to talk about. That's something you're gonna have to hit dead on, and you're gonna have to get through those bumpy roads in order to get to the point where you on cruise control. And cruise control got bumpy roads as damn stuff. So, but I don't know. I expect that in my 20s. You know what I mean? Come and the phone broke or something. Yeah.
She said the phone broke. Oh Lord. I believe there's a polite way to argue. We had to learn how to argue. You can't argue or have a disagreement the way I'm used to, all the yelling and the screaming. That doesn't work. You have to learn how to argue in a way that is debate to debate and be able to still hear each other and learn to listen. I think we still are learning as the process is going on to make sure that we listen to one another even when we are disagreeing about something. Yes, honey. What's up in the cage? Because he has to go to bed. Why?
Mommy moment, parental moment.
But Melvin and Nakia, so tell us, how do you guys deal with disagreements? Do you take a minute to walk away? Do you take some time, or do you meet it head on?
Well, it's a combination because before we used to just yell at each other and didn't hear each other. And then basically I was already into therapy. And so I asked my therapist, I said, I have some issues. If it's not helping me, help me. And brought him into a couple of sessions and we learned to talk to each other without the yelling and him to understand that for me, I just can't talk because I have to get my words. So you have to give me 5 minutes. Because if you ask me, Melvin has a bad habit of asking me 5 questions at once. And then my brain is like, shit. So then I have to take a step back and I have to remind him constantly, you cannot ask me 5 questions at once. And when we have an argument, we have to stop. Both of us have to stop talking at each at one time, and let the person let everything out, and then address it. Or put a pause on that subject and be like, "Hey, I hear what you're saying, but pause that subject and address that subject." Because otherwise, we'll be talking for hours and hours, and nothing is happening. So, for
So,
me, that's what I do.
so I'm gonna interrupt you just for a moment there. So you just gave us one of Melvin's bad habits. Melvin, what's one of Nikki's bad habits? I'm an advocate for the husbands. They love to complain about us. What's one of her bad habits?
Hey, that's not
I
fair. We
get to
need
hear about
another
my
one
bad
here.
habits all the time. I get to hear about my bad habits all the time. I don't want to hear about another man's bad habits without him getting a chance to retort. Melvin,
This is hilarious.
Melvin,
That's so hilarious. It's funny.
speak on it, brother.
Well, I mean, she takes her time for me, and I think that's what you gotta do in a relationship. You gotta take your time and collaborate and hear each other out. If you do that, I think everything will work out.
Okay.
Man, me and you gonna have a show together, brother.
Listen. He said, when I get off of this, I still gotta sleep with her. I ain't messing with you.
Exactly. Look, when we hang out, exactly. We still gotta go night night.
So
Right.
let's talk about that. That's one of the unwritten rules. That okay, we talked about friends last night. But
Yes.
friends have to understand this. I have to go to bed with this woman, so don't do anything that's gonna make things crazy in my house. Friends have to have like that that unwritten rule. The friends that can't get that, you can't be friends with them after you marry. The ones that's gonna stir
No,
the pot,
no.
the ones
Wait,
that's gonna
hold
But
stir the
on.
that's
pot a
hey,
little bit.
listen,
Hold on.
That's something that you learn when.
Back in the day. But sometimes, let me say this. You have the good ones that do it that don't mean no harm. Like, for example, sometimes you realize your friend ain't been out for 6 months. You're like, oh, go, no, I'm coming to pick you up. I'll be there in 20 minutes. Be dressed. So it's a difference. You might think
Right.
that person's a bad influence, but only thing you're trying to do is let that person breathe and not have a mommy moment for a couple hours.
Right.
Oh yeah,
And then,
absolutely.
you know what I mean? But some men actually don't like that. They want their wives to be home all the time and just be housewives. And I think you go crazy if you
Those
do
are
that.
those are individual. Those are individual issues that you bringing into a bond. And this is how I go right back to the beginning, man. It starts with you as a human being. Like these quarrels that we're going through, and don't get it twisted. I am not. I am far from a perfect human being. I'm telling you that
Right.
the majority of the relationship issues that I've had have been individual issues. You understand? So what I'm telling you
I'm
is
sorry, my
that
daughter's coming home.
No
until
worries.
you until you figure out who you are and have the ultimate relationship with yourself, it's almost impossible for you to have a healthy relationship with anybody outside of you.
Absolutely.
I
I
think that's
agree.
very wise advice. And
Right.
let's plug the Reverend Doctor's program. So solution based community
Yes,
every
sir.
week. Is it Sundays?
every Sunday, actually 12 o'clock to what tonight, 11:59. Then it'd be 12 Sunday, the first thing Sunday morning.
I listened to
On
your
all
last couple of
major
episodes
platforms.
because my wife was on a couple of them. It's good
All
stuff.
right, so
I like the lineup of
so
people that
so
you
go
got
ahead,
there. That
please elaborate. Please elaborate.
on what on the program.
Give me your
He wants to continue.
your
So
perspective.
so was it King's sister, the
Yes,
lady who's
Yeah.
yes, that was
Oh,
King.
mental health. You talking
she
about in the mental health? Yeah.
Yeah.
yes, that lady was dropping jewels. I enjoyed that
Yeah. Well, wait
conversation. I
till
thought there
12
was a
o'clock
lot of
tonight. But go ahead.
I enjoyed that conversation. I think there was maybe more people in the booth than I could follow who everybody was.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
when we had those people set themselves apart, and even King dropped some jewels. I was like, all right, cool. Somebody says something you really like or really resonates with you. You can find, okay, I know that character now. But trying to track
Uh,
all the ones, and I know this one's voice, so I'm like, all right, that's I haven't seen her thing. But it's
yeah.
like there's a lot of people there. There's a lot to get through because the topic was meaty and it had real legs to it. It's like a lot of perspectives. I enjoyed it, and I will continue to listen.
Thank you.
And I encourage everyone to
To
check
tune
that
in.
out. Check that out.
Thank
Absolutely.
thank you. I greatly appreciate it. And basically, what the objective, if I'm not mistaken, the objective of that particular episode was to just introduce the community to what mental health is.
Mm.
You know, a lot of people think that just mental health just consists of somebody just walking down the street with no clothes on, doing the pocket knife. You know what I mean? It just it don't get
The
down like that.
extremes,
Like,
the extremes.
yeah,
But
they think of
there's
the extreme, and just something as simple as you not taking care of yourself on a daily basis and having that me time, like the young lady just said, like going out with your girlfriend and stuff like that, and you might have an insecure man at home, but that ain't got nothing to do with you. That's all him. You understand what I'm saying to you? So he got
Absolutely.
some things to work on. You got some things to work on. Why don't you go, lay on the couch for a little bit and sort your shit out? Because I mean, that's what it sounds like you need to do. You understand? Um,
Absolutely.
when I'm talking about mental health, I'm talking about uh wellness, mental
Right.
wellness, like holistic health, like being able to breathe without without tension. You understand? Being able to have you some you time. How many of us know who we are? I got this thing when I usually do it in my groups at work with my clients. I got this little thing, and I actually do it in my life coaching as well. I got this sheet, right? And I'm gonna tell you, as an adult, it's gonna be damn near. It's gonna be almost impossible for you to fill this thing out. It's called "Who Am I," and it breaks it down. It says, "All right." It goes as small as, all right, your name, your first name, middle name,
you're
nicknames,
breaking up a little bit,
right?
Herb.
All of the above. It asks your birthday, stuff like. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Can
you
you
was
hear me?
I
breaking
can
up a
hear
little
you.
bit.
Yeah.
We
Can you hear
got you
me?
now. We got you
Yeah.
now.
All right. So basically, it's asking for your favorite food, your favorite TV show, and the list goes on and on and on. The thing is that it's asking for so many aspects of your life. You gonna mess around and fumble on one of them, at least one of them. I'm gonna
Right.
say to the very least, it might be about 30 or 40 things on there. I can put a couple of dollars on that you're gonna miss about 10 to 15 of them because they specific questions on you. And I'm hard pressed to find a person that can go ahead first time and fill that whole thing out. Why? Because we don't put enough emphasis on having a relationship with ourselves. We don't put enough emphasis on knowing who we are. How the hell are we gonna know a relationship when we don't even know ourselves?
That's a
It's
very
true.
good point.
It's true.
You know
But you know
something?
what? I went on a mission of self discovery before we got married. And I spent those 2 years on
Yeah.
discovering oneself and taking that time to discover who I am. And I'm still learning as I'm growing and evolving, but it got the basis down pat for me to be able to open my heart up truly, to be able to love another unconditionally, because I had to learn to love myself unconditionally. And I think a lot of the times we rush into relationships thinking we're looking for love from someone else, and forgot to love ourselves first. Um, and I was
Right.
looking for that love from myself first before I could get it from him or anyone else, family, friends, whomever, because I had to learn to appreciate oneself first. And as we're going through this journey together of of um, of our relationship and raising children, and life, I'm helping him to introduce himself to himself, as I too am still
Yeah,
discovering.
that's to your point though. It's kind of a lifelong journey.
It
I
is.
think it's kind of a fallacy to know yourself because who I am is constantly changing. Every day I might have a conversation and there's something.
Right.
There's a bedrock foundation of who I am, and that I know all too well. But
Mm-hmm.
then there's those other things that become the individual choices and run-ins and dealings and things that happen with you that start to form you as well. That I mean, it's you is a is not a static thing. You is a me is not a static thing. I don't know about anybody else. Me is not a static thing. Me is a dynamic thing.
I
Um,
think I
but
think
it's
that's
important.
like it's like that for us all, man. It's definitely like that for us all. I mean, we somebody. I tell you, I reintroduce myself to myself on a daily basis, but I know I have an obligation to reintroduce myself to my spouse as well. So
Right.
Absolutely.
as I grow as a human being, I really have to talk to my wife and say, "Hey, this is me today."
Mm.
You understand? And
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
just as
And
well, I
how are
may
you
have,
today? Invite
yeah,
that
yeah,
introduction. I want to meet you today.
exactly.
What are you up to today?
And I gotta
Because
be
this
okay
lady,
if she don't feel like talking about it either. I gotta be all
yep,
right with that.
yep.
I gotta ask her, hey, will you think one day we'll be able to talk about it, or one moment we'll be able to talk about it? A lot of us aren't okay with that, and I'm not always okay with it because I want the answer there. You know what I mean?
Sometimes you need a minute
Huh?
before you're ready to
Right.
elaborate or talk about something. Sometimes you're sorting some things out
Yeah,
with
I
yourself, right?
understand that. I understand that. But as a man, as me, sometimes I want that instant gratification. I want that. I want to know what's going on right now, and I
Oh
have
yeah.
to know that
No
that is
facts.
a
Same with my
flaw
husband.
of mine. That's a flaw of mine. That's my own stuff. I need to go check myself. I need to take a minute in the bathroom, put some water over my face.
Mm-hmm.
I think that
Yeah.
is a very typical male perspective, of wanting that immediate, answer and satisfaction. I see Nakia
Yeah.
tap into Melvin and saying he is the same way. This one here is, similar. So you are not
Yeah.
alone, Herb, at all, in that, wanting those answers immediately and having to
I
learn
like
to
answers. Who don't
be
like answers?
patient
Who
and
don't like answers?
wait for
You
that,
understand what I'm
answer.
saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I
But
mean,
you're not alone. You're not alone.
yeah.
You have some fellow men here who think just, similar to you as well. I think we lost him
Oh,
as
Oh,
his
we lost
in
her.
his communication.
Yeah, thanks for coming on,
yeah.
though, her.
But thank you for being there. We appreciate it.
Yeah,
But
well, I
it
understand.
definitely, I think one thing I did have to learn in this marriage and period was compromise. I really don't like to compromise. I am a
She
brat
does not,
and I like things my way.
and I don't really
Oh,
like to compromise much either because I'm
now
always right, usually right. I
He thinks he
I,
is.
am.
I have to
It's
ask
hard
a
to
question
compromise.
because he says it's me being a control freak, but
Mm.
I feel like they in the very beginning he made me the household manager of everything, like money, shopping, cooking, all the above. And then only thing he had to do when he came home was let's say be the man. I cooked and made his plate, gave it to him, but when it came down to him taking care of the household, I gave him that respect. But now that we're older, he wants to um try to be more into the roles he gave me, and I've been doing that basically. I'm gonna say about 18 years. Let's say
Mm.
18, 19 years, and it's difficult to give up the reins because for a long time he couldn't fill out a money order, and he still has a little problems with money and stuff. And I don't have no problem with it, but I feel like when I give up the reins, stuff don't wind up being correct, and it makes me go batty.
We could have a
So
whole
my
episode about
my
that.
We can
We could
have
have
a
an
whole
entire episode about that because we
the
have
banking,
similar, not the same circumstance, but
but
it's like,
similar.
yeah,
Yeah,
as the
similar.
when someone runs the house and the family and tells everyone where they need to be
right,
and whatever, and then you get to a point where it's like, all
right,
right, you know what, I want to help too, or I should be more part of what's going on. Um,
hmm
Having that, not that, so I'll ask her like, what should I do? Like, no, you go sort out what you should do. Like, all right, fine. So she's trying to let go of her control freak,
I am.
and by throwing me in headlong sometimes into things, and it's good. It's been really good for me. I will never be her. This woman is amazing, and she, like I said, she runs our house. I say once you have over 3 kids, it's an organization with reporting lines and all that, and everybody reports to the CEO, and that's her.
right,
Now I get to be the CFO
right,
sometimes when I'm not the janitor
We
cleaning, unclogging toilets, but
yeah,
there's that dynamic. A family's not an easy operation to
right,
explain to somebody else or always to run. And there's usually
right,
that person who is kind of knows where everything is. She knows when my doctor's appointments are, the kids' doctor's appointments, her own, the dog. You know, she knows when I need to get things
hmm
checked out myself before I do.
I refill
And
his
that is
meds
like she
every day.
refills my
yeah,
prescriptions for medication. Like this is
He does.
man, she's instrumental. This is the MVP right here. But
But
that said,
right,
it's like we as grown men, we have contributions to make, and we can do things, and we can cook stuff.
right,
And I use that example because I didn't cook. My mother cooked all my meat. I was well taken care of as a child, to a point where sometimes I like to clean. I'm a clean person. I'm a neat person to like almost to a fault.
right,
But cooking was one of the things that I just never quite.
his strong suit.
Yeah. So my daughter
It
like
wasn't what hooked
teaching
me, that's for
I
sure.
don't know. That's not what
right. Yeah,
So Melvin, with you taking
because
over some of the reins, how is Melvin? How are you adapting and liking your new role in the household as helping
like quarantine changed a lot of
and
things, too.
everything? How are you dealing with that? He's saying that he likes it kind of. How are
Well,
you?
well, you know the old saying, behind every strong man, there's an even stronger woman. So I'm happy. Just like my man, I say, you want remote control? Yeah, you want to watch TV? I don't care. As long as I'm with you, I'm happy. You take over, do
Yeah,
what you
Mel,
want to do.
we
As long as I'm
sound
in
whipped.
your distance,
We sound
I'm
whipped.
happy.
You and I collectively, we sound whipped. We just giving it over. Let's, Ivy take the wheel. Nikki take the wheel.
wait, and the sad thing what it is he has a bad habit of putting on old, low budget movies that you're looking at it like, what am I watching? And I'm like, and then he's mad when I'm like on my phone. He's like, can you not pay spending time? I'm like, I had to learn. I'm like, babe, I love you, but I can't watch this.
See,
I'm going out my mind.
you see how the dynamic changed. Now we had the Reverend Dr. Herb on, and he was dropping some gems on us. But Mrs. Herb was not there. When you leave the couples to talk, I want Mrs.
Right.
Herb on next time. When you get the couples talking,
Yeah, that's why
the
I
conversation
need
is
another
different.
one. I need
Like,
another
this dude
female.
all in his hoo-ha, man, because his woman ain't here. So yeah, he all free with his. I'm sitting there next.
Yeah.
we having a barbershop conversation. We're a few barber chairs short, man. I wanna play too.
You gotta know your woman though. A lot of women have to be in control. If they're not in control, then that relationship ain't gonna work. You got to know your woman. That's a lot of strong.
Absolutely.
That's why a lot of strong females out there now are single mothers, because there's a lot. They meet up with the wrong man. You either gonna basically it's some women out there that like the man to be in charge, and there's some women out there that have to be in charge. You have to know your woman, and if you know your woman, then you're good. I'm with my woman. She like to be in charge. She has to be in charge. I'm good.
It's
And
the
and
character flaw. All the women
So
in my family are
that to
like
me
that.
is
That
as
has
important
flaw.
as knowing yourself.
Yeah.
Know her. Because
Know her. Definitely know him and know her exactly. So what am I? Am I okay with falling back, or do I have to be in charge?
you are
What do you
okay
know?
to fall back in certain matters, but you are a very in control person. You are a very take charge, assertive person.
I guess he knows me,
And
guys.
this is like, so I bring skills to the table,
He does.
but every skill requires the motivating spark to whatever. Sometimes I compare it to like, it's like, all right, there's the aim and the fire, right? I need someone to aim me, or else I might just be busting off all reckless. This woman aims
Right.
me. It's like, this is what we're going to do. All right, I got
Right.
it. I'm there.
Right.
Otherwise, I'll be like, maybe I'll do that. Maybe I might do this. Maybe I might do nothing at all. No, you're gonna do something. Like, okay, fine. You're gonna call your mother today.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I haven't called my mom.
Yeah, because when I met him, he was so square, and I'm like, Melvin, I was like, I said, where's the street
Man,
clothes?
Melvin,
He was,
she is
these are
all
my
on
street
you,
clothes. I
man.
said, Melvin,
Me and you making a show. Just me and you together, host and co-host. I'll even let you be the host.
That's it.
I'll be
and
the
I
co-host.
had to bring vegetables in his diet. I had to teach him all this stuff. I'm like, oh,
If
come
you
on.
Had to feed him vegetables. He didn't need
Now
any
he
vegetables.
loves them. Now he
had
loves
my
vegetables.
mother upset because there's certain foods that
He
my
eats
mom
my
could never
mac and
get me to
cheese.
eat, and she make it, and I'm eating it, and she's like, "You don't eat broccoli?" She's like, "Yes, he does." I'm like,
Eat broccoli now.
There you go.
He eats some peas
Oh,
now. I
man.
tell you that.
So if you had to describe yourselves like metaphorically as a couple, like what would be your dynamic? Were you Bonnie and Clyde? You were Barack and Michelle? How would you describe yourself to people? I'll start.
You go ahead. No.
This is Batman and the Joker. I don't know which one of us is which, but this is Batman and the Joker over here. We cannot exist without each other, equally out there
Yes.
in their own way,
Go
but we
for it.
balance. We make each other make sense.
Right.
And it's not always pretty. It's not always pretty. Like, oh, you're necessary because of him, and I know what he is. So
He is so stupid. He is so stupid.
I'll have to say I'm like the Joker and she be Harley. That's what I honestly have to say. She's
okay.
I'm the crazy goofy one. She's the one that holds it all together.
I'm the one taking care of the hyenas.
I
I'm
love
making
it.
sure I'm putting his jokes up and all that crazy stuff. Yeah.
Mr. J.
But then, I always say that then when we're real laid back, it reminds me of somewhat of the Cosby Show, Cliff and Hillary / and I can't think of their name, Family Matters. I always say when we're chilled and we're in that family aspect, that's what I think of when
And you
we're
can't think of their
together.
name. As soon as you say Family Matters, the first name that pops in my head, Steve Urkel. I don't remember their name either.
Yeah,
What
but
the
name
hell
the
is
parents
Harriet
though.
and-
Name the parents.
Harriet,
The
the Winslows.
Name
What
the
was their name?
parents.
Harriet and Carl.
Yeah, but name the
Carl
name
Winslow.
what's their first
Carl
name.
Winslow. Carl
Carl
and
Okay,
Harriet.
Carl.
I think it's Carl and Harriet. We should do a
Oh,
game
shoot,
show.
you got it.
We should do a game night. Yeah. That'd be fun.
Oh yeah, we were talking about that. Yes.
Oh man.
That'd be fun.
Oh, yes.
Definitely
There's so many people I know, myself included, who grew up idolizing as couple, as family, the Huxtables, and that's why it is a special tragedy to see what became of Bill Cosby, and the fact they took everything off the air. Like no more Cosby Show, no
Yeah.
more
They'll bring it
Fat
back, though.
Albert, none of that.
They'll
Right.
bring it back though. Just
Yeah.
give it time.
But you know the thing,
What's that?
I saw something and it kind of rang true to me. Somebody put a post up saying that he was trying to buy either ABC or CBS. He was trying to
NBC,
buy
that was
them,
the
and that's
rumor,
why
NBC.
something came out.
In any case, horrible
Yeah.
things. Horrible things. No one should. I'm not riding for Bill Cosby
Yeah.
anymore. I ride for R. Kelly, and I don't ride for none of them. But it's a shame that
Well, I've never been an R. Kelly
for
fan,
someone
and
to
he was
represent
surprised.
something. So I'm very much of the mind of, okay, someone sings a song. I don't know your personal what you do in your spare time. I like the song. I I don't get into the celebrity idolization. I don't know what you do in your spare time. And honestly, I don't care. I'd rather not know. Now we're in a time
Right.
where we got to get deep in everybody's pockets, and it's cancel culture and who you can like and who you can't like. I like
Right.
Bill Cosby's work. I don't condone
Right.
anything Bill Cosby did or was allegedly doing or any of that, but I
Right.
liked his work, and it gave us an example of something that Black children didn't get enough of. From the time
Exactly.
of
Yep.
Fat Albert and that little crew running around to the Cosby Show, that was very important.
Right.
Spinning off to a different world. That was important
Right.
content for young Black people to see. And I say that because I was a young Black person
Right.
consuming that at the time, and it helped make an impression on me. I'm not dropping stuff in people's drinks, but I am raising a large family. Walter is with Claire here.
I hear you.
And, whatever. I'm a grown
But
man.
you
I
know
live
what's funny?
to Dr. Herb's point, but that made
Right.
an impression, and that meant something. It's something for you to
Yeah.
pattern or to aspire
Right.
to. And I think that's important. You was gonna say, Nikki?
But it's funny because I raised my kids in the 90s. This household runs like we're still in the 90s. The TV shows, the cartoons, and I show them my kids the cartoons and everything. Now, when they want to be relaxed and everything, we'll sit there and watch the Cosby Show or Steve Urkel or old cartoons. And my daughter said the other day, she was like, "Mom, what channel is Boomerang?" I'm like, "Wow." She was like, "I want to go see the snorkels." I'm like, and she loves the snorkels. But you say these to the other kids, they're like snorkels, and the Flintstones are above. But it's funny because just like 3 weeks ago, a perfect example of Bill Cosby giving you a good life lesson. I don't know what the name of the episode was, but it was the episode when Vanessa brought her soon-to-be husband. And this brought him in. Nobody knew she was dating this man, and they were engaged. And when they did the life lesson, they was eating fish stick and French fries, and the fiance didn't understand what was going on. And finally, he said, "Let me tell you what happened. She brought you basically on a garbage can, and everything." And when I showed it to my kids, they was like, "I said, but listen to the whole speech. You have to watch the whole 4 minute. I mean, like it was like a 6 minute thing, but you watched it before, and then you watched the lesson." And then my kids were like, "Wow." I said, "But that's what happens a lot. People sit there and present you on a garbage can lid, and that's sad." And it's funny because his lesson still went through
my
today.
landmark episode was when Vanessa got drunk, and then it was pretending it was all the kids got to drink, and the parents.
Oh yeah. I saw that the other day too. Yeah.
Oh man, did you hear what they planning with the Fresh Prince? They're bringing it back.
The chili pop.
A dramatic movie. All the nostalgia, all stuff we grew up with. They're bringing it back. They're bringing it back.
No,
Karate Kid.
But my daughter also loves the music from the Cosby Show.
It's good music.
You know when they used to do like the stairs and the whole thing for the grandparents?
Yes.
Oh, that was one of my favorite episodes.
Classics.
Oh, man.
Classics. Definitely.
But it still rings true.
Yes,
We need more Black heroes.
We do. They're gone.
Type of TV shows from back in the day. We need more Black positive stereotype role models for Black community, especially young Black men. We need to focus and keep that up instead of off the corner of the streets.
And we need to keep doing what we're doing and let people see how happy and enriched we are in what we're doing.
Right.
And rub some of that off.
Right. Because there's not a lot of positive stereotypes out there, like I was saying earlier.
I think it's not enough programs out there anymore. It's not enough programs out to keep these kids busy.
Well, BET is no longer owned by anyone who is B.
Yeah.
That's been going a long time.
That's definitely a way we can definitely.
We going into a whole new episode.
Yeah, we can.
So I'm gonna do. We're gonna close on that note of look. There's two couples here, two Black couples together, happy,
definitely
living productive life.
Yes.
Not out doing things that you see us doing in videos or silly movies.
We definitely
Yep.
should be
Yep.
wanting to be role models to others. And if we do allow someone into our home, not to air our dirty laundry to them, so that they can aspire to
Yes.
commitments and
Yes.
relationships as well, so they don't have bad experiences with shattering their dreams. Quarter, like Melvin was saying earlier, that that was dashed just a little bit for him, but he was still hopeful, and I'm glad that you were productive to
Correct,
find a
correct.
happy love and love for yourself and for Nakia. That's wonderful.
Man, it was great talking with you guys. I
Absolutely.
really enjoy it.
Same here.
You make the live stream even liver. So we appreciate you.
Thank you
And
guys.
thanks everybody
Thanks.
for watching it. Thanks Herb for coming on. Solution-based
Yes.
community
Awesome.
fam.
Yes.
Love you guys.
Definitely.
Take care.
We're gonna try to find some more couples.
Yes.
All right.
We do.
Let's
Okay,
build. Let's
bye.
build.
Build a
Take care.
community.